Two weirdos, one star shit mic, talk Trek all night, buckling. All right, warp speed weirdos, hit play, let it go. Warp speed weirdos, where the freaky Trekkies go.
Oh, this would drive Chuck crazy. Was to have like the Enterprise and then little finder guy on top of it.
I'm waiting for that episode.
I belong to a bunch of Star Trek Facebook groups. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
What happened here? And once Starfleet Academy got canceled, so many people were butthurt about it. And it was kind of like, well, it didn't get ratings. You know, it had a lot of the same problems that Discovery did, is that the showrunners were like, well, we want to appeal to a whole new audience and not the one that's built in that has supported us for, 50 plus years. And it's like, okay, let me know how that works out for you. You know, I hate watched all 5 seasons of Discovery. Especially the first season, which was just so bad. And it had nothing to do with the actors. It had to do with, the terrible scripts and, the messaging that they kept trying to put in, the fact that it was a season-long series arc, which for the most part, Star Trek people don't like. They want their 60 minutes where, okay, here's the conflict. Here's where we all almost die, even though no one's going to die, especially the main stars. And then the ending where someone on the crew makes a brilliant move or a brilliant decision that everybody goes, oh, yeah, right. We should have done that in the first 5 minutes of the show.
But then, where would all the commercial breaks go?
Exactly. That is exactly right. What would you do then? So I watched all of Starfleet Academy, and the first episode was not bad. It was certainly much better than the first episode of Discovery. And then it went right into Star Trek 90210, and it's like, okay, so they're not really exploring anything other than their various love lives and their personal conflicts.
Now, to be fair, we knew that's what the show was going to be before it launched, because they clearly told us what they were doing.
Yeah. And it did not work out well.
Okay, so here's the problem that I see.
Mm-hmm.
When you go beyond, okay, we need a better system for the writer's room. The problem is that the people that are the stewards of the Star Trek franchise,
yes,
they're very well aware that we are all aging out, and they need to have new people. It's like a church. If you're not getting fresh blood in, your church is just going to fizzle out at some point.
Right.
And so they need to get fresh blood in. And so they're trying different things to get that fresh blood in. And I don't know if it's being effective. And the reason I don't know if it's being effective is because the longtime church members are so vocal about what they don't like.
They are.
That it overshadows what new people may like. So like with Academy, is the problem, or was the problem with ratings really that much of a problem? Or was it that the longtime faithful are like, this isn't the Star Trek that I want, and I'm going to be super loud about it? And then the new people that are like, actually, I can relate to this, are drowned out. And I'm not saying that's what's happened, but I do wonder when we have shows like Academy, it's are we getting in the way of the progress,
No, I
regardless of
don't
whether or
think.
not we like it?
I think the problem is the audience that they're trying to relate to aren't interested in Star Trek. So you make a show where you alienate, and this was the same thing with Discovery. You make a show that alienates longtime fans by making things like pink and purple Klingons when there was a good established look already and no explanation on why the changes were made. Plus,
Yeah,
because
I
it
was not a
was
fan of the new Klingons.
no, because it was a prequel kind of show, so it took place before the original series. Well, the original series just had guys in dark makeup with weird facial hair, and those were Klingons.
Right.
Right. And then when the movie started and Next Generation came along, where they changed the look to, the Worf style Klingon,
Yeah,
or whatever.
the new
ridges.
classic Klingon.
Right. There was no explanation on why the change was made, but it was actually a pretty good change. And then when Enterprise came out, they actually did have an explanation for it.
Right. Which
Where the ridges
I
were
thought
there.
was actually done in a clever way.
It was. But then Discovery comes along and they threw that out and just said, well, prior to the original series, this is what the Klingons looked like. And it's like,
I don't even think it was that well thought out. I think it was
not well thought out.
We want to have a unique look for this Star Trek, even though it's Prime Universe Star Trek.
Yeah.
And there were some poor creative production decisions made.
Very. And with Enterprise, it was fine that all of the controls weren't like little colored knobs, like they had in the original series, because they were so fucking cheap or didn't have the budget, didn't have the technology. And, Gene Roddenberry went with, well, let's just put something shiny there because this is color television, which is what they did.
Right. Yeah. That's why they repainted the set after the original pilot.
Yes. Because it looked better on color television sets.
Mm-hmm.
So then Next Gen comes along and they've changed it all to flat surfaces, the L cars, stuff that they were doing, which was also fine. Nobody that had a complaint about the Next Generation was complaining that they went to, they went away from little colored lights on a flat panel. Nobody was saying that. Though the first season of Next Generation, which was almost all Gene Roddenberry, was not good.
No, it was not good.
Yeah. And when I watch Next Gen shows, if Riker doesn't have a beard, it's like click. It's like let's move on from that. But it got a lot better.
It did, yes. Yeah, the two visual cues you need to know to have a high likelihood of a good episode: collars, beard.
Yeah, and whether or not there's a blonde security chief. Tasha Yar.
What a wasted character. There's so much they could have done with that, and so many interesting little nuggets that they dropped in. And
they could have explored her whole experience growing up on, whatever that weird planet was.
On Rape Gang Planet.
From. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she basically wasn't happy with scripts that she was getting and wanted to leave the show. So they were like, well, okay, we're going to have you get killed off by a giant piece of sludge. How's that? And that's what they did.
And that's what they did. Hey, have you ever seen the clip of Patrick Stewart talking about recording that?
No.
Or actually it might be Jonathan Frakes relaying what Patrick Stewart said to him. But they were standing there on the set, and Patrick says to Jonathan, 35 years in the Royal Shakespeare Theater, and I'm acting against a pool of sludge.
Yeah. And they got rid of Crusher too. They brought in Diana Muldaur.
Yeah.
Who was also original series Star Trek member.
Multiple episodes, different characters.
And those are also a little rough because she just didn't fit. And she's a wonderful actress, but she didn't fit.
Yeah. And, she could have fit if they had been brave enough to write an actual character for her instead of trying to make
just reaction shots.
And let's have Dr. Mrs. McCoy.
Yeah.
Even down to the I don't like using transporters, which is a crazy thing to introduce into the Star Trek franchise when it never comes up even once in the original series. And Dr. McCoy's in the transporter every episode that he goes to the planet.
I think at one point he does say something about your molecules being scrambled, but he doesn't.
Yeah, but
the venom that he did later on.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Oh crap! I can't remember the episode now. But the context wasn't I hate transporters. It was related to something else, but involved the transporter. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't either.
But yeah.
But it was all fun. Even, and Enterprise self-destructed because of the third season. That whole long story arc of them in the Expanse.
Yeah, and then the horrible thing is when they finally had a showrunner who could fix everything and ran the show the way he wanted. So that fourth season,
which was very good for the most part. There were a lot of good episodes there, but people had already tuned out.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the fact that the network Paramount was trying to starting was just bombing UPN. And
yeah.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah, I read a thing, saw a thing, I can't remember. It's been a few years ago where I think it's Terry Metalis was talking about the series finale of Enterprise. And how he actually, like, he was apologizing, and he said I'm paraphrasing here, through his arrogance, he thought that he was creating a love letter to Star Trek fans for this episode, for the finale. And the reality is he wrote a piece that actually was horrible
for all the people that like the show.
Yeah, and it fell flat. It didn't work, and I remember seeing it's like a panel interview where it was several of the actors from Enterprise. And Scott Bakula was not on the panel. So they relayed how Scott Bakula acted, like as a person, not on set.
Yeah.
During that last episode, and they said, this is the only time we saw Scott upset, angry, and resistant to what we were doing. And it's because it sucked and Scott knew it.
Yeah.
And they said that they were all reading the script and they were offended. And the actor that played Travis Mayweather, I can't remember his name, Anthony something. Anyhow, he said he read the script and he's like, so are they saying that our entire series that we did, it was actually a fictitious story on on a holodeck, and that none of it actually exists
Or mattered.
or it mattered? And yeah, they were all pretty
Especially when they
upset.
killed off Trip. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
why did you have to do that? There was no reason for it.
no, it brought nothing to the story.
Now, I mean, sometimes killing off a main character can mean something. And when you
But that didn't.
watch Serenity, the movie,
Yes.
when Book was killed, it, you know, because Serenity was supposed to be the wrap up for everything.
Right.
So Book gets killed, and I think, and I can't remember the actor's name, was really sick. And he died not long after filming the movie.
Yeah.
Ron Glass. That was
Yep.
his name. It was a good death. It made sense in relation to the rest of the story. And it wasn't just a throwaway thing. The same thing with Walsh.
At the end.
At the very
Yep.
end. It's like, watch me poof, you know, and it was like, okay, now there's real stakes in their last stand, which is what that was kind of shaping up to be.
Yeah, and the emotional impact of that, I mean, it was profound.
Yeah.
The whole
completely unexpected.
Yeah, and the whole Trip thing, it was like, okay, you've had Connor Trinneer play a completely different character through this entire episode, because he's not playing Trip Tucker.
No.
And then you just off him, and at that point we're like, okay, so does that mean we don't have to watch this rando character you created for this actor for this one episode anymore?
Yeah.
I do like that later that's kind of retconned. Just there's little bits and pieces of things that come up in the modern shows.
Okay.
And like, I think there's even a little thing in Strange New Worlds,
where his name is mentioned.
Yeah, and in Picard, because the original Enterprise is in the museum, but there's like little things every now and then where they don't come outright and say it, but they talk about, it's mentioned in a way that it's easy to interpret that he's alive. And in Lower Decks, the implications that he's alive, and then they have the multiverse of characters come together.
Yeah.
And at least, yeah, and in the multiverse to Paul that they encounter, I mean, she's married to Trip still, or was until he passed away.
Yeah,
and so there's that too.
Lives much longer.
Right.
God, I miss Lower Decks.
Me too. That's the only show that so far that they've been able to convince Jolene Blalock to reprise to Paul in.
And of all the Star Trek shows that have been created, Lower Decks was the only one that almost every single episode grabbed onto canon from so many different shows, and
it was just brilliant,
sprinkled everywhere. The big giant Vulcan skeleton in the Collectors Guild episode,
yes,
which was from the animated series.
Yep.
And the same thing with the cave episode with the Dream Rocks, whatever the hell they were calling those. And you had that like multicolored weird flying thing that was also from the animated series, and they left nothing out. And the fact that these episodes were like 22 to 24 minutes, they crammed so much story. into that little itty bitty bit of time that it
was done
blew me
brilliantly.
away.
Yeah. And yet, bringing it back full circle,
Yeah.
it's gone not because they were ready to wrap it up, but because what I have heard referred to both for Star Wars and Star Trek, the fandom menace, hated it because it was a cartoon.
No, it was brilliant. I'm a
It
huge
was brilliant.
Star Trek
Same.
fan.
Yeah. And it's some of the best Trek. It's absolutely brilliant.
Ever made.
But there is the vocal fandom menace.
Because it's not serious. It's blah, 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 blah. It's like, kiss my ass, man. It's like, it's such a good show, and you won't even, and if you hate Lower Decks because it was animated, the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. Yeah.
The animation was, it was simple but good, especially all the stuff they did with the hands.
Yep.
The sarcastic Vulcan salute that she would do
when
she was
to her mom, instead of flipping her mom off, doing one of these better.
Yeah. And Boimler did it to her once, and she's like, it doesn't look cool when you do it. And as soon as he's gone, he's like, damn it does look cool.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Okay, when they did the crossover episode,
oh my God,
with
so good.
So good. And then at the end, when we have the Lower Decks animation of the net, or not next gen, but
Strange New Worlds cast. Yeah. And they're getting all fucked up on that Endorian vodka or whatever the hell it was.
Yep.
And he's like, are my arms like all squiggly?
My arms typically do not move like this.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, but I was watching that little clip. I'm like, I would be okay watching Strange New Worlds animated like Lower Decks.
Yeah.
I mean, you looked at each of the characters and you're like, they nailed it. It's a cartoon character and they nailed it. You know exactly who you're looking at.
One thing that really pissed me off from the very first episode of Starfleet Academy, because it was, Star Trek's 60-year anniversary, I think.
Wait, was it? No, this is 60-year anniversary.
Sorry?
This is the big anniversary. 26.
60 years.
60 years.
Right.
So
I guess they were starting the celebration or whatever, and they had all the hero ships going, and they didn't have the Cerritos.
Oh yeah, the whole intro thing where they make the chevron. Yeah, why didn't they do that?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, no, I know what you're talking about. It's a thing where they're flying and then it morphs into the next ship and the next ship.
Right.
Yeah, not the chevron thing. Yeah, why is the Cerritos not in that?
Speaking of Lower Decks intro, did you see the koala?
Yes.
My wife saw it first, and she was like, "Did you see the koala?" And I was like, "What? What?" And she rolled it back a little bit. And as soon as I saw the koala, it was like, there's just so many reasons why I love this show. And
yep,
all of the little Easter eggs and everything that they did. People talk about certain episodes, or even like the Orville, like, oh, this is a love letter to Star Trek. It's like, the Orville was a love letter to Star Trek, but it pales in comparison to the love letter that Lower Decks was, not just to the next generation, but to the entire franchise.
I agree completely.
We should probably do a podcast.
Well, you're recording. We just did. Guy, this has been great. Where can people find you?
Oh, well, you can find me. I'm going to go with it. I will post this. You can find me over on the Tubes of You, as on the Vert Shark channel, where you can see all of my videos. You can find me also over on Twitter and skies of blue. And how did you call it?
The Stawns of Mast.
The Stawns of Mast, and Ball of Yarn, which is also sometimes called Threads, as Mac Parrot. How about you, Jeff? Where can people find you?
Well, Guy, how about on both of my blogs that I revived, jeffgammett.com and freshbrewtales.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the social medias, jgammett basically everywhere. Okay, let's see if I can remember the Guy Speak names. Mostly active on the Stawns of Mast, the Skies of Blue, and how about the Hungry Pixels instead of Pixel Fit?
Works. It works. It works. And if you'd like to comment on this this little Star Trek episode,
Guy has a Google Voice number. The G-Man wants your call. Call him now.
You can call us on 703-828-4677. Outside of the U.S., dial a 1 first and then the number, and you may incur charges if you dial it directly. Other stuff, of course, is the G-Men show, which we are getting ready to. We haven't even done the G-Men show yet, and we've already have this great podcast about Star Trek. Also, Guy's Daily Drive, which is an archive of all the ones I did in my car on the way to work when I was still working, and Tales from the AI Verse, which still only has 2 episodes. So thank you for that. And I think that's about it, Jeff, for this.
Awesome. This has been great.
Little bonus episode. And this will be released as an audio podcast. I'm not sure what feed I'm going to put it on. It'll probably still be the G-Men one, because I don't have a separate one for stuff like this. Also, it will be on the Tubes of You under the Vert Shark channel. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all the things that you want to do. I really would appreciate it. And Jeff, thank you so much. I don't know how this started, but it did.
The way it started was you hit record, and then I think you said squirrel or maybe space squirrel, but we were off to the races.
Yeah. It's like Space Godzilla, but better.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember how it started either. When you go back and check the recording and you listen to the beginning, you're going to be like, huh.
So that was a thing.
That was the thing. Kind of talk to my therapist about this one.
And I'll need to, come up. I'll have to go over to Suno and come up with some kind of weird little bumper bringing it in. But for now, thank you all for watching this. However many or few people that do watch it, it's really appreciated. And thank you. And thank you, Jeff.
Oh, sure. And Guy, set your phasers to stunning.
You got a tricorder mind. I got a split screen grin. Work hard.